Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the latest update for the Midland Belt Railroad. It's been a while since I've updated the YouTube channel, but that's due to, well, not for lack of trying, it's mainly due to the amount of work I've had to do on the layout. I simply haven't had time to do a video until now. The layout has been to 3 exhibitions in the last couple of months. It's been to the Mansfield Model Railway exhibition, which is always a great show. I try and get there every year if I can. I went to the Nottingham Model Railway exhibition, and I also went to the Crewe exhibition for the Calder Northern division of the NMRA. Because of which I've been doing a lot of work on the layout and I haven't really had time to do much of anything else. It's been a bit of a mad blitz to get everything ready. Unfortunately, the layout has suffered a little bit of cosmetic damage in transit. You can probably see the background buildings above the handy company unloading shed is a little warped. The sign in front of Knowles has been knocked over, and there's a few other issues as well. I will be repairing these over time, but I've got I'm mainly going to be sort of like focusing on the rolling stock and the locomotive fleet for now. But there's been quite a lot of changes to the layout. I'm going to try and document them as best I can, but I may miss a few. If there's anything that you guys see you want to do a little bit more about, then just check in the post in the comments, and I'll try and respond as best I can. So, as you can see, the sign outside of Knowles. Let me just focus the camera. Sign outside of Knowles has suffered somewhat. You have to forgive the shaky camera. I've just had quite a lot of coffee, so I'm a bit wired. The sign in front of Knowles has been knocked over. I caught that as I was loading it into the car, which is disappointing, but it's easily fixed. I have added a few more details to the layout. You can probably see that the crossbuck fell off as well. That needs fixing. I have added some tables and chairs outside of the trackside cafe. These are by a German company called, I believe I'm pronouncing this right, Auhagen or Auhagen. They sell them in packs. There's more than I'm ever going to need, I think, but I'll find places for them knocking around on the layout, I think. So beyond that, I don't think there's much in terms of details that's gone over here. There's a few figures been added and a couple of bits of detail pieces. Not a lot beyond that. Over here, then, if I take a step back, you can see that the centre section of the layout is pretty different from the last time that you saw it. I documented previously the changes to the centre board. I've made it a lot deeper than it was, removed the stock shelf from the back, and sort of filled it out into more spurs, more industries, and a lot of larger buildings. This was mainly due to the performance of the track work on the previous version of the centre section, which didn't work. So I've fixed it. Now most of it works. There's a little bit of maintenance I need to do on the track, mainly cleaning things, improving electrical pickup on a couple of the switches, but nothing huge. It performed pretty much flawlessly at Calder Northern, and I am quite happy with that. As you can see on the front, I've got my Nottingham 2017 East Midlands plaque. I've also got my 2017 patch from Mansfield and a NMRA QR code sign for the NMRA British region. So a little bit more work has gone on here. I've basically split the team track and the fuel unloading point and separated those into a couple of industries. Thought it added a little bit more to the operating potential. The team track is here along the front. and just off to the side, this is supposed to represent part of a larger trailer on flat car unloading facility. That's so I can use spine cars and flat cars with trailers on. I've also got, you can see a few more freight cars that I've picked up, and a Norfolk and Western SD42. I've picked up quite a haul from Crewe, traded in quite a lot of surplus N-scale equipment, and got a fair amount of HO stuff. I'll make a video at some point of everything I've picked up, my new freight cars, and as I weather them will be added in later videos. I made a start weathering these two tank cars here, but my airbrush is broken, so it's kind of blitzed them with a spatter effect, which is unfortunate. You see a little bit better there. I can fix that, that's not a problem. I'll be weathering that a bit more, and then I'll use washers to tone it down and bring it back to a more realistic look. I don't think it's too bad to begin with, but it's salvageable. Right, so I've added in a new building here. The Clever Models, it's one of the buildings from the Clever Models Cream City Tool Works, which I've modified to fit the available space, because as you can see there's a spur runs along the back. This little gap here where I've got these little steel drums, I'm going to put a barrel unloading platform with probably like a little ramp coming off of it here that they use to load things in and out of the building. The building has no relief on it yet, it's just flat as it stands, but that's going to get changed. I had to build it in a rush, unfortunately, so it's just a bare structure for the moment. I'm going to cut out the doors and windows and fill those in correctly. I tried layering a few along the side here. These are the side and windows and such are layered there, but they could do with some improvement. You can see the fuel tanks. One was taken from the original version of the centre board and dropped into place there, along with another one which is made from a refill container for spices of some description. I've built a larger structure here to extend the Handy Company, what was the Handy Company background flat. Doesn't quite match up. I have to keep them separate, unfortunately, so that I can sort of take apart and rejoin the boards. So what I've done is I've taken this Keybri chimney, wrapped it in Clever Models texture papers, blend it in a little bit more. I've also removed the Handy Company building with the loading dock that used to be on the centre section. This is now a background flat. I've used a marker pen to do a little bit of graffiti and things like that on there. I've added the fuel unloading point here with some further detailing parts. There's a crossing keeper's hut here, just like the Norfolk and Western logo out of the way. Crossing keeper's hut here, which unfortunately got a knock when it was being loaded back into the car, so that's been damaged, so I need to take that apart and fix that. That is built from some plans in Model Railroader from, I believe, like the 60s or 70s. I think it's a Milwaukee Road prototype, but it seemed to fit the bill, so I went for it. Next to it is the start of a Southern Flagstop depot, and then there's a chap in there carrying his bike again. Always got to find a place for him. Let's see, I've had a guy over here with a red flag to guard the crossing. The dog peeing up the fire hydrant is back over there. The background photograph that I've used to sort of make the road appear like it goes into the distance is actually taken from, I believe it's taken from Google Maps, from a place in, a street in Louisville, in Kentucky. So the layout has had its location decided It's now going to be set in Kentucky. Strangely enough, there is a place in Kentucky called Allen City, which blends in quite well with the whole West Allen Street name. So that's where the layout is now set. It's set proto freelanced, obviously, version of Allen City, Kentucky. Right, so over here is the Davis Produce building. Needs more banners and signs and stuff to cover up this Sherwin Company sign, because that crops up multiple times across the layout and it's starting to get a little old now. The Sherwin Company guys get around. So that needs fixing. I've modified the existing Davis Produce building, or the second version of the Davis Produce building, to fit a loading dock underneath. There's another small piece of the loading dock here, which is basically supposed to represent like an older variation of it from the steam era, which has been no longer in use, so it's kind of left to be overtaken by all the weeds and brush and such. I've got some detailed parts on there, which some of them are glued down, some of them are just placed there so I can decide at a later date exactly what I want on that loading dock. The loading dock itself is let's start that one again. The loading dock is the one from the old Handy Company building, which was on the original version of this centre section layout. That's been recycled and placed here for Davis Company. Put that mechanical roof back. Along the front of the layout is Kim's Cicero Diner. This is basically like a truck stop. I've added a few details in there. The chap walking his dog is back. There we go. Got some actual trucks along the front. Some tables and chairs and a trash can and such. The front of the building is made from the front of a blister pack, I think, that some detail parts came in. So I've made that transparent. The interior is detailed, and Ford is working on a lighting project for it. We had a joke on RM Web basically saying that the diner interior is very small considering the stereotypical size of American truckers. No offence to any American truckers who may be watching. And there was the joke that you